Hello, everybody. This is the last podcast, episode 15. I'm Stefan.
I'm Kevin.
Weekly show, we talk about games, movies, news, anything we feel like talking about. This week, a lot of good news, but also some sad news. We'll get into that a little bit later. But as we start, Kevin, what have you been playing? What have you been watching, etc.?
I beat Batman.
Okay.
A couple weeks later.
Thoughts?
I liked most of it.
Mm-hmm.
I know the last couple missions. I see what you're saying. That was kind of annoying. Like
Batmobile overkill.
Yeah, it was Batmobile overkill, and like the GCPD thing. Well, this might be spoilers, but like when you come out and there's like 50-some tanks, it's like It's not even that it's really hard. It's just like
annoying.
They just keep putting more. It's like adding more enemies doesn't make something necessarily like harder in terms of like fun. You know.
Yep.
Like I'm fine with it being harder, but like add some different variations or something like another helicopter or something like the helicopter boss in the beginning. Something like that I was expecting. Instead, it was just like, how many can we throw at you? And so, like, it wasn't that hard. I mean, it took me like maybe 2-3 tries, but you're right. Like, it wasn't very fun.
Yep.
So
we'll get too heavy into what was going on since we talked about it a couple episodes ago. But how do you feel about the reveal of Arkham Knight, and what do you think about the whole Joker bit at the end?
The joke thing at the end was maybe too much.
Too much?
But it was kind of cool. I mean, I don't know. I see what they were doing. It was a little weird, and then all of a sudden, like, he just beats it mentally, I guess. That's what was going on,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, that was kind of confusing, maybe a little bit. But the Arkham Knight thing reveal was good, I thought. I kind of expected it to be him after, like, halfway through the game, you kind of, like, get tipped, I feel like. That's who it's going to be.
If you do some of the Riddler missions, I don't know if you follow any lore of Batman, but it kind of comes down to who they reveals it to and another character. Especially where basically Joker keeps saying, "Oh, this person, I'm talking to this person in hell," and all this thing, and then that person's son. I thought it might be. I don't want to reveal too much, just in case spoilers alert. But I thought it might be that character.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's why he'll be. That's how he'll know Batman.
Right.
That's why he's pissed at at Batman. That makes reason. But at the same time, it probably makes more sense because it's. And then when you see that one scene, I fucking spoiled it on accident. My bad. Then you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and. Yeah, I feel like after that scene, I definitely saw it coming. Once you think about it, but I thought that was good, and I kind of the open-ended ending, or it wasn't too open. I thought I was scared after what you said that it was going to be more open. But
did you watch the?
Yeah, YouTube the true ending.
And what did you think about that?
I thought it was good. I thought it made sense. I thought that he would have to like stage a somewhat death, and he would have to like leave, and then I think the new whatever that was. I think you could argue could even maybe be or somebody else like taking over, not necessarily him again, but as a different Batman, and maybe like more robotic or something, just because it like almost flew or whatever, So I thought that was a good difference, especially since this is the end of this little arc, So it can be like self-contained and Bruce Wayne retiring and that kind of stuff, and I'm fine with it. So I thought it was all right, but. I was annoyed too. One thing that annoyed me is that you don't get to fight the Riddler boss battle until you've caught all the riddles.
Yep.
I was like, "Well, are you serious?"
And I was reading somewhere, and I totally agreed. I just feel like you defeat him by not doing the challenges and just leaving him in the freaking underneath the thing. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna leave you in there. I need to fight you.
Kevin makes a joke about. Kevin's like, or we can just leave you down there.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I mean that's what I'm gonna do because I'm not gonna do all this to fight him. Like. That would have been a cool fight. And the first part was you like do a quick little tease with him.
Especially where like we talked about 2 weeks ago is that one of my big complaints is that there's really no boss battles at all. It's just that stupid tank part that I freaking hated.
Right. And it wasn't really. Yeah. I mean, there were a few times where stuff felt like boss battle like to me, but there wasn't anything, especially not like the previous game.
Yeah.
And that would have been a chance to have something, and then it was like nope. And I was like, well. I thought that was really a miss. I don't know. I see what they're trying to do, like give you something to work towards.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, then the other option is like, okay, or I just beat by not doing anything, which is like a stupid motivation to have. I think so. I don't know. That was a miss, I thought, but I still really enjoyed the game. I never got like upset with it really, but I would still say 8 out of 10. I stick with that.
I'm still 7, but we'll maybe we'll revisit it again. Maybe I need to replay it again.
Yeah, well, you're gonna replay. You got a season pass, right?
Yeah, so I might replay it again. They just revealed the new skin of 1989 Batman.
Oh right, yeah.
And it's really tight. Although it's stupid, like you can't use that Batmobile throughout the whole game because it can't transform. So there's only special situations where you get the 1989 Batmobile, which is fucking stupid.
Right.
But you get the 1989 skin. So I probably run through it again once I get it.
Well, I don't know, and maybe I thought, but when you get this is also another spoiler, but you get the like new Batmobile 2, after the one blows up, and that paint scheme I thought was like the old paint, the gray and yellow that it was with the yellow stripe that you get. That second, I thought was kind of like a paint scheme, like throwback. Even though it's not the old Batmobile, it was kind of like in the color scheme of that more so than just like black, which I thought was cool. But
so you played Batman? Anything? Watch anything?
I don't think I saw any movies. I started playing Rocket League.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Yep.
I know some people have had server troubles. I had a little lag, but I was able to get into a match like right away so far. But it's super fun, super simple, but awesome.
Okay. For me personally, playing. I just started Rocket League as well today, as you came in.
Yeah.
Played one match, lost, but it was a lot of fun. I'm probably gonna play that a lot more.
Yeah.
I bought Dying Light. I played just the very beginning. Seems very interesting. I'll probably have more on that next week. Watching, I just came back from watching Ant-Man. It's up there for one of my favorite Marvel movies right now. It's really, really good.
Dang.
Paul Rudd's he did a good job. Michael Douglas was great. I mean, the whole cast was good, and there's a lot of fun. It's in the realm of like Guardians of the Galaxy. They fit it in perfectly to the Marvel universe. There's even like a scene which is hilarious that I was like, oh my god, even like it's like the complete opposite of Terminator in terms of a trailer where you're like, oh wow, I'm surprised. I didn't even know this was coming, and this is exciting and new and fresh, and I had no idea. Whereas Terminator just kind of like, just ruined everything.
Right.
So, yeah, go check it out. Definitely go check it out.
Nice.
Marvel is doing good things over there. Hopefully DC can catch up. I think that's about it. So, let's get into the news, Kevin.
Sure.
Let's start off with the sad news, because then later on that will lead into like our topic of the week. But the news last week was that Satoru Iwata died. If you don't know who this guy is the CEO of Nintendo. He was the guy with the glasses and all the Nintendo Directs and stuff like that. He came in, so just kind of glancing at this thing. He came in after basically the GameCube as CEO, and led it to. It was really responsible for like the DS and the Wii, and of course the Wii U. The Wii was probably Nintendo's most successful console of all time, so he had a lot of success going in there.
He was also part of the studio that did like Kirby and stuff, right?
Yeah, he came from a game development background as well too. So he was like game developer that got up into CEO position, which is interesting.
Right. Yeah.
And despite we talk a lot of crap down on Nintendo, but it's mainly because like all of us love Nintendo so much, and we want them to see them like we don't want to see them fail. We just want them to go back to like what we used to love about them.
Yes. Definitely.
So this is sad news, and like leading in, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about kind of our favorite Nintendo memory stuff. So, sad week for Nintendo.
Yeah.
So, anything to add?
Well, we'll talk about it. Topic of the week.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Let's go to some kind of good news. Some more good news. We'll move on to. I saw this actually came out, I think, today or yesterday late. So Street Fighter V. I mean, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, there's gonna be Super Street Fighter V, Ultra Super Street Fighter V, blah blah blah."
Same thing over again.
Capcom came out and said, "No, that's not the case. We're not doing that." And they basically outlined what they're gonna do. And basically, what they're gonna do is there's gonna be some in-game currency that you earn by playing the game, doing whatever, and you use that currency to buy new characters when they come out.
Right.
Which is freaking awesome. So basically, you just could play and earn everything. Almost like a free-to-play concept.
Yeah, or if you want, you can pay for
it.
it.
And if you want, if you've been out, like say, if you haven't played for a while, you want to get back in, you want to spend all this time earning up these characters, you can just pay for it, get the currency, and then buy the characters you want. Which to me, I was like, this is a genius idea. Like, it's like kind of free-to-play, but not free-to-play. It's like free-to-play with DLC.
Free-to-play DLC, yeah.
Which is awesome. I think that's a great idea. I hope more people will catch on and do that because... That's a really awesome idea. Like the fact that I can play and earn new characters, and it's like, you don't have to buy all the characters either. Like, oh, you don't like this character? Screw them. Just get the characters you want,
right?
And just
what order you play in and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So that's a really awesome idea,
especially for a fighting game.
Yeah, for a fighting game. So looks like this will be. I mean, it's like the most gamer friendly kind of concept that they've done. Like. Yeah, it's annoying. Like I had Street Fighter 4, and then Super Street Fighter 4 comes out, and like, oh, it's different, and it's not really different. It's just like a couple more characters, but I want those characters, and I end up buying that, and then it's like Ultra Super Street Fighter. I'm like, no, I'm done. But so this is awesome news. I thought it was good news, and kudos for Capcom.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Moving on. Shenmue 3, Kevin. It happened. Got announced at E3. The Kickstarter finally came to the end. But with its end, it came that it became the most funded video game Kickstarter of all time.
Yeah, which is crazy.
I think it ended with around 6 million or something like that.
Yeah, that's insane.
They also, from what I read, they're also continuing. Yeah, it ended with $6,333,295.
That's insane.
69,320 backers. So yeah, it's happening. A lot of people want Shenmue 3. They said they are even going to continue getting funded through PayPal. So I guess you go through PayPal and continue to donate if you want to.
If you want to buy the game early or whatever.
I didn't read into that much. I guess just to help contribute more if you want to do that. But yeah, so Shenmue 3, it's happening. It's official. Broke records.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, do you think other big games will do similar things like this in the future? Or?
I think so, but I hope it doesn't become an epidemic. It needs to be a special case,
right?
By special case,
something you're like bringing back like that makes more sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't have a problem. The only thing that's hard for me to get around is like you're committing, like say, like if you donate $30, you get like a digital copy of the game or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just so far away that it's like, I don't know if. I mean, clearly other people don't have a problem with it, but I have a problem saying, like, this game's out in, like, maybe 4 years, and I'm going to pay $30 now for a copy, you know, and then I have to get email updates and make sure, like, they know my address, like, 4 years later so that I can get it shipped, or get a download code or whatever for, I mean, if it's in, like, 3-4 years, like, who knows, you know, what system, or, you don't know anything about it, really, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just a little far ahead.
I completely agree with that, but like I said, I think it works for this because Shenmue 3 is not happening without this. Right? So, like, I don't want EA or one of these companies coming and be like, hey, like, or like, say, like, Call of Duty's like, kick funding the next Call of Duty game. It's like, no, man. Like, no, don't do that.
Yeah,
but if a game like, say, like, we love Onimusha. Onimusha did it. Like, here's Onimusha. We decided to do a comeback, Kickstarter, whatever. I'm down. I'm okay with that, you know? So, like I said, it depends on the game. If it's a franchise it has to be a franchise that won't happen without the Kickstarter. Like, you know it won't happen with Kickstarter. If it's a franchise that you like... Yeah,
they like bring it back, and they're worried about sales or whatever. Or something. Yeah.
Like, for example, or like companies are struggling. Like, Sega's struggling, so this makes sense.
Right.
Capcom, if they did something, like, that makes sense, you know? So, case-by-case scenario.
Yeah.
Next news. Metal Gear Solid news. We kind of went over this. I was kind of confused that I thought this already happened, but I saw this again, so I figured to mention. But basically, they removed Hideo Kojima's name from the Metal Gear Solid 5 box art and with Kojima Productions. So my understanding is that they removed it, but then they put it back, and now I guess they're removing it again. So who knows what's going on over there?
Right.
But like we all know, this is Hideo Kojima's last Metal Gear Solid game.
I mean, I'm sure they're pissed and they don't want it on there, but...
Well, that's the thing. Like, there's, like, rumors that... Well, obviously, that's the big thing. Like, they don't want it on there. But other things, like, maybe he doesn't want it on there.
Like, because he just doesn't want to be associated with them anymore, per se.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's sad because it's the end of like such a great, iconic, video. Like, it's like almost synonymous with video games. Like.
Yep.
I would say it's like top 5 or 10 for sure franchises all time.
Yep.
For something to end and then his name not be on it, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is. Like, I feel like you should put it on there. At least, like, something with Hideo Kojima on there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably going to be all plastered all over the credits, but it's just...
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that they...
At this point, people know.
Yeah.
People don't
know. If this is really them, then they're being that petty to be like... Not to honor this man. This man has given you... ungodly amount. Like, you wouldn't. There would be. I honestly think there would be no Konami without Kojima at this point, right? Yeah, because there's like no other franchises have been really like keeping them afloat that's relevant anymore.
Yeah, like on consoles.
Yeah. So yeah, sad, stupid news.
Yeah.
Next news. This is kind of cool. So the guy who's doing the new, was it Neil Blomkamp or whatever his name is? The guy who did District 9, Elysium, and Chappie.
Right.
I know we talked about it probably episodes ago, I don't remember, that he's doing the new Alien movie.
Right.
He gave this first, like, concept art, if you guys want to check it out. You see, like, Ripley and all them. And basically, my understanding for this film is that it's going to take place after Aliens, which is the second movie, and it's ignoring all the other terrible movies after that. So... this is going to be awesome, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. I love the Alien movies. Even the bad ones I still kind of like.
Yeah.
But
I mean, 3 still have that famous scene in the shower scene, right? When the alien goes up to her face and growls, so...
I mean, I love them all. I own them all. But, yeah, I'm super excited for more. And I don't know, I guess I didn't see Chappie, and I heard it wasn't all that great. But the other two movies, I love both.
Chappie, Chappie's definitely the worst of the 3, but it's not bad. Like, I paid money to watch it in the theaters. If I'd known I wouldn't have done it, I would have waited for it to come on like video. But it was an interesting concept. It was fun.
Yeah.
But like, definitely Elysium and District 9 are much better films.
Yeah.
But he has a good distinct style that you can really see like aliens fit in that style, which is I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Moving on. Oh, this is funny. So Lego movie was super successful,
right?
And a big part of that movie was Lego Batman, who was voiced by Will Arnett. Basically, he was so successful that they decided to spin off and give him his own movie. So Lego Batman's happening in a couple years, and now they announced who's going to voice Robin. It's going to be Michael Cera. So if no one knows, like, they were in Arrested Development together, so it's like a little Bluth reunion thing, which is kind of funny. And I feel like that's good. Like, those two voices, like, Michael Cera has this distinct voice too. It's like so like soft and like weird. Yeah, it's gonna be so funny to hear him as Robin. I think it's like the perfect casting. I feel like.
I think it's perfect for a comedy. Robin, like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be serious or anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it'll be good. It'll be funny.
Yep, so I'm excited for that. Next news. Another news that could be really freaking awesome. We were actually talking about this a little bit last night.
Yeah.
Basically, Hulu is considering to add a ad-free subscription. It's thinking around $12 a month. Currently, I think it's about $8 a month. I'm not sure. I mean, like, right to asking my brother, so I don't really know, but...
I actually don't know who that has it.
But this is like...
It's gotta be the same as Netflix, right? Which is what, 8 or 9?
I think it's about 8 or 9. So yeah, it's probably around the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is freaking awesome. Like, I would definitely get my own Hulu for ad-free subscription because it's almost worse than TV watching Hulu. Like, especially like popular shows, it's so terrible. It's like they're long, they're stupid, there's like the same commercial over and over again. At least live TV is like multiple different commercials, so you can get a little bit. But it's like the same commercial like fucking 5 times during the episode, and it's just frustrating. And sometimes, I mean, you have no choice, but like, God, this would be so much better. And it sucks because like you're paying, you're still getting ads, which I think is complete bullshit. So please do this. Like, don't consider just freaking do it.
I honestly thought that that's what it was. Like, once you told me that it still had ads, my mind was blown. I had no idea.
I honestly thought it was free. And I was like, is this still has ads? My brother, so I'm like, the fuck is the point for paying for this shit?
I mean, I guess if you don't have cable or whatever, if you don't
Yeah,
have
I mean, I just got rid of my cable, so, like, I have to use Hulu now,
right.
so...
And that's what I think people do it for.
Yeah. So...
Yeah.
Please do this, Hulu. Last bit of news, and then we'll get into the topic. I thought this would be good news for you, Kevin, especially.
You know.
Atlas and Vanillaware, if you guys don't know Vanillaware, they've done games like Dragon's Crown, Odin Sphere, and what else did they do? They did...
There was Odin Sphere 2.
There's Odin Sphere 2. They also did another one that came out recently, too. That wasn't Dragon's Crown and something else.
Really?
I thought so. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Anyways, they do a lot of these HD, super stylized, like side-scrolling RPG type games that are freaking awesome.
Oh gosh, so good.
Basically, they're teaming up with Atlas. If you don't know Atlas does these really like bizarre, like niche Japanese RPG type games as well. They've done like, I mean, they did the first, or they published the first Souls game, Demon Souls, in the U.S. They've done games like Catherine and I can't think of another one. They do the Disgaea series.
Yeah.
And they do
what's the other
big one? The big one that's coming out this year
the
too.
The action RPG.
The one's coming out this year. Persona. They do the Persona series as well.
Yeah.
So they have a good. They both had good pedigrees. Basically, they're coming together. They're teaming up and doing a new project. Supposed to be get more details this week, hopefully. So that's really good news because we might get something very interesting there. So
yeah, I'm pumped about that.
Yep.
I'm excited. I loved Odin Sphere. I love Dragon's Crown. Both really good games, and the art style is so cool. So and they put a lot of work into that. So I think it'd be awesome.
Freaking awesome.
I'm sure I'll play it.
Yep. Me too. So let's circle back around to topic of the week. So like we said, Iwata died. Sad news. But to honor him, we decided to both come up with more of like our favorite, our best Nintendo memory. Share it to you all. But because Nintendo, like I said, Nintendo is basically... I don't think anyone could say, or most people our generation say, like, Nintendo's basically their first console, right?
Yeah.
Like, Mario's probably the first game I played.
Yeah, I think.
Like, I think...
Sure. Super Mario.
Yeah. I think, when I think back as, like, first system, I think Nintendo. Some people may think older than that, like Atari and all that crap, but, like, I think Nintendo. That's why I started out.
Yeah.
So to honor him, we decided to do our best Nintendo memory and then share it with y'all. So, you want me to go first or you want me to go first?
You go first.
So, my best Nintendo memory has to be seeing Super Mario 64 for the first time. And I remember because I used to hang out with my friend Chris. I don't want to say his last name because I don't want to be out there, but he's Chris, who used to live on the same street as Michael, and I never said his name, but Mike and Sammy.
Did you say his name?
Yeah. I'll have to bleep it out or something later on, but
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Like, yeah. So I used to hang out with him,
right?
And he used to have this big house, and like it was almost like two houses, like they were connected in the backyard because like his dad and I guess his aunt or something, they broke down the wall, so he basically has two houses, and he used to have like all the new toys and everything all the time, like all the new Power Ranger toys and freaking all this basically everything. I was like, holy God, this kid has everything. And he had the N64 first. That was the first time I saw the N64. And I remember going there and I'm playing it, and he puts on like Super Mario 64. And I see this 3D world, and I'm like, my little mind is blown. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? This is amazing. And that moment is the moment when I basically went from a person who, because before that game, before N64, like, I love video games, but I didn't really, like, research them or really do anything that much. I used to go to Blockbuster, look on the shelf, look at the box, and, like, oh, this box looks cool.
Right.
Like, I'm going to play this game. Like, that's how I used to play games.
Yeah, me too.
And I only had, like, 6 Sega Genesis games. My brother had Super Nintendo, only, like, 6 of them. So I used to play games, but it was more, like, split, like, going outside and playing toys and then a little bit of games. And there'd be months where I didn't play anything. It was just sit there collecting dust because I had no new games.
Right.
But when I saw Mario 64, it was like something clicked inside me and then like changed me forever. And that's like that's the light bulb that changed me from being just almost more like a casual gamer to like a gamer. And that's what kind of drove me from then. So that's the memory. Like Super Mario 64 is the memory I always have seen it for the first time, being like, okay, this is why I love this. I want to play this. I want to learn as much about this industry and play as many of these games as possible.
Right.
Which span to Mario Kart and GoldenEye and all these ridiculous amount of N64 games.
Yeah, I mean that was where it like flipped, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even though I guess PlayStation was PlayStation out first, right? Before 64.
I believe it's either. I think it's out first. I want to say
I mean, it was close either way.
They're around. I want to say PlayStation came out in 94, 95. I don't know when 64 came out. I think about 95, maybe 96, maybe.
So,
but yeah.
I mean, that was like when 3D was becoming the thing. Like,
yep.
It was finally capable of happening. Where the graphics were like enough where it made sense.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that was definitely a big moment. But I would say I don't know. I guess I thought of a few things because I thought, like Nintendo in general. Obviously, like we talked about, the first game we ever played was Mario, and I didn't have like a system growing up because my parents were like probably smart when I was a kid and they didn't want me to have video games.
Yeah.
Because they knew I would just only play video games, which ended up happening later anyway. But,
yeah.
So at first, like I didn't have a Nintendo or a Super Nintendo for myself. I didn't get until eventually I got a PlayStation, but even that I got like only once analog came, once they had the joysticks. But so the first time I was at like a friend's house and they had a Super Nintendo and they had Super Mario World.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time, like I had seen Mario and stuff, but I never like got to sit down and play. And I think my parents were over for like a party or something, but they had kids too, so I just like hung out with their kids, and we just played like Super Mario World like all night. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm missing out on video games. It's like that was really what hooked me like in general to video games at all. And I mean, later there were other stuff too, down the road. But that was like the first time I really played, and I was like, "Oh man, this is so fun!
Yeah,
this is all I want to do."
I mean, like, it's hard to like you think about your first memories as games. I mean, another one I have is just off my head is like memories going back to Barbados. Like, you think of like the beach and all that stuff, but one huge big memory is like me, all my cousins, and my brother in like my uncle's little room, surrounded around the Super Nintendo playing Street Fighter 2. Yeah. Like on the 64 and playing Battletoads and all this stuff with my cousin. Like those are like some of my favorite memories, and that's all because of Nintendo. So I mean and we talk about now like Nintendo, how like we're kind of down on them, and like we touched upon it earlier, is that I mean like everyone has such good memories back in the day and love what they were doing, that where they're at currently now is just so against that. That's why we're so against them. It's not. No one comes out saying, "Oh, we just hate Nintendo," like passionately or whatever. Like where you can like say that maybe with Sony or Xbox because you're an Xbox fanboy or Sony fanboy. You know what I'm saying? Like someone could be like, "Oh, I hate the system." Like no one outright just hates Nintendo that way.
Right.
If they're down on Nintendo, it's because they're so mad at the direction they went from. It's not that you just hate this company. It's just like, God, just go back to what I used to love, damn it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I really think that like there's such few companies that can do that. And it's because even, we talk crap, Nintendo's always been like, I never felt like Nintendo was ever like really, per se, like maybe selling out maybe on games or anything. I never felt that way because I feel like they all do love games and all as a game company first. Whereas maybe some other companies have gone more, digital, more like trying to capture everything. There's been always like a game company first,
right? Which just shows through like their first party games are some of the best.
Yeah. And, like I said, like they still arguably have the best first party games of all time. Like no one's really rivaled. I mean, they have so many mascots and characters that just through decades and generations they're still relevant. I mean, look at like. My goddaughter, she loves Mario and Yoshi and all them. She's only 4 years old. It's like, wow, like how does she still love? Like she loves characters I've loved when I was a little kid.
Right, and they're just different.
Yeah,
it's the same, Which I mean, I don't even think about. I like think how ridiculous Mario is. Like these two Italian plumbers.
Yes,
it's like the whole idea is so ridiculous. It's become like iconic, like on a level with like Disney and stuff like that. Just
I mean,
like an accepted character.
Oh, really? Like they're the only company that has really rivaled because they have the Disney has like the Affinity whatever model things. And
Action
the only company
figures.
that has rivaled that is Nintendo with the Amiibos, which like are ridiculous. Everyone freaks out about them and all this crap. Like no other company could do that. Like Sony can't do that.
Yeah.
Microsoft can't do that. I mean, so the fact that they do that, I mean, it's a part of our culture almost now. They're a cultural phenomenon. These characters and everything. So like to see a guy like Iwata go down, and it sucks. It sucks that he went at a time that maybe some of the lowest of Nintendo with the Wii U.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks. And maybe we could have a discussion about like the state of the company later on. I do it's a little bit more appropriate. It sucks that he went out at that time. So maybe a time where there's more at the top, you know.
Right.
But
he's not going to see them turn it around for the next. Although he probably was in the know about what the next console.
Yeah.
was.
So it's gonna be interesting to see
Maybe he saw
what the NXT is, and how much of like his handprints is all over that.
Right. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting to see that
because that'll be another year from now. But
yeah,
I'm sure he was involved heavily. So
yeah. So I mean, if you're out there on Nintendo, maybe play some Mario games.
Yeah, Kirby.
Play some Kirby.
So much. I still have on the virtual console. I have like all of them, and just put on Game Boy and stuff. And Smash Brothers. Kirby was always my character.
Play some Smash, do something. But yeah, go back, look at some of your Nintendo, some of your history, because you know Nintendo was there from pretty much the beginning. So they're, I mean, think about this, like they're almost the first to have almost everything. They're the first to really have an analog stick on a console. Yeah. Which morphed into like the DualShock. They're the first to have Rumble. They have the Rumble Pack. Right. They're the ones that actually.
Which all those were like controversial when they came out.
Yeah, they had the motion control. I mean, that was successful as hell. Although I was down on motion controls, they had like it actually built in where everyone tried to kind of shoehorn to come after us. I mean, they've been really pioneers on everything they've done. Right. So, honor the man, honor the company, and hopefully we'll hear some new things that'll get us excited about Nintendo in the future.
I believe.
I think that's about it, Kevin. Kind of a short episode this week, but efficient.
It was kind of a slow news week, though, I feel like, too.
So, everyone have a good weekend. We'll be back next week. And, go Suns. They're almost, they're doing the summer league, so hopefully they continue to do that. All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.